Hi everyone, welcome back, and this is our last episode in the first season where I am interviewing a couple of UAE-based startups and businesses to get to know more about their perspective on sustainability, education, maybe industrial hemp, and I'm also taking now the time to introduce my last guest for the season. Her name is Samina. Samina is together with her sister Farzana founded Biophilia Works, which is a company that's focusing on management consultancy, and what they bring is they bring several reminders, techniques and strategies how to go back to nature, connect with our roots and get grounded. So Samina, thank you so much for joining this podcast conversation, and I'm really happy to meet you in person. And really happy to be connected with you, and really curious as well, to learn more about you, Farzana, and how you came up with the idea of creating Biophilia Works. And especially because when I was browsing on your LinkedIn profile, I noticed that you said we emerged during the COVID pandemic. And if nothing else, then this is definitely a sign of sustainability and perseverance, and really a sign of you living sustainability. So what does sustainability mean to you?
Right, thank you so much, Beatrix, first of all, for having me here. It's a great pleasure to meet you as well. And I'm so glad that you picked up this statement from our LinkedIn profile. So sustainability to us, Biophilia Works Management Consultancy, at a very simplest form, is our ability to thrive and perform in tough times. And this ability of ours comes from our deep-rooted connections with nature. And this is what Biophilia Works stands for, a connection with nature. And that's the story of us emerging in the tough times of the pandemic. And this is a message we are spreading to everyone. The practical example, I would say, of this is the program, our maiden project that we launched for sustainability, which is called I'm Sustainable 2022, and we're bringing it back again this year. So that's a living example of how we thrive and perform under tough times and how we keep ourselves connected with nature.
Right, so just make something clear for me, that it is about surviving, it is about that resilience that you develop during tough times. But you also mentioned nature. So how does it all come together?
Right. So I would say a couple of things here. So, we belong to nature, and to nature we return. And that's where resilience and strength comes from, because it's a human nature to connect with nature. It's a human nature to be outdoor, to connect with nature. And that's what biophilia means, basically. So biophilia is a Greek word, which means love of life and nature inclusive. And this theory basically shows that it's a biological research and theory which shows that every human being has an instinct connection with nature, right? And that's why whenever we are under any kind of a disastrous situation, whenever we are under kind of a problem or challenges, the first thing we do is we reach out to nature, be it stepping outdoor for breathing, or looking around outside to find solutions. So that's where we are actually instantly connected. And that brings you the strength and the resilience to overcome any challenging situation. So that's what sustainability us really means.
That's lovely. I especially love that part when you said by default we go to nature to recharge, to connect with the roots, to really feel grounded. And we do it in many different forms as individuals. When you bring this message to organizations and companies in the UAE, what are the first couple of responses? What kind of questions people ask you? What kind of things they are interested in? And what are some of the most common challenges that you're facing?
Yeah, this is a very important question. So, at a glance, people love the idea. They love the fact that we are connecting organizations with nature. We bring solutions which are rooted in the research and science of nature. The challenges that we would usually face is unawareness of how they can get connected, or what benefit it can bring to them in their business. So, for example, if it's just for the conversation, if it's a retail business or if it's a tech business, they're not sure how this can bring benefit to them. And this is where we come into the picture, and we guide them basically through a guided process of how creating solutions which are grounded in nature can help them bring benefits, which is on a larger perspective, long-term sustainability of business and people and wellness as well.
Yeah, I can relate to many of the points you mentioned, but I also find it strange sometimes how companies leave out the main component from the equation, which is the human. So far, majority of the companies rely on humans with all their emotions, thoughts, actions, behavioral patterns to bring more success, more profits, more growth to the company. Yet, when it comes to development, usually it's the learning and development and the HR and the human component that is put in the background. And that's something just, like kind of thought-provoking when you think about it. And also, I just bring this other parallel to you, so you see where I'm coming from. Also, we love short-term fixes, instant gratification, not only as individuals. When I come with my consumer mindset and I say, if I get this, then I'm going to be living a happier life. But also as an organization, if I organize a 3-day workshop or a 3-day team building for my team, it's definitely going to be amazing. However, what really makes sustainability work is long-term planning, is long-term retention rate, engagement of the employees. It's something really long-term. So to what extent do you find readiness in the UAE for long-term? Especially knowing that long-term, it's not only about planning and strategies, but implementation, reflection, and continuous alterations.
Yeah, very, very interesting and insightful question. And you're very rightly mentioned, in terms of the human benefits and the human values these approaches and these strategies bring. And human capital, like you said, is one of the most important aspects, which is often overlooked. In terms of readiness for the long-term sustainability, from my observation, I guess everybody wants to go there. Everybody wants to be part of it. The main challenge comes from multiple priorities. So when we're talking about a business organization, there are so many things that's competing with each other. So sustainability being one stream, and your business targets in another stream, and your financial sustainability in another stream. So there are so many things which are competing against each other. And I guess having a holistic viewpoint is extremely important, because you cannot keep things fragmented. Everything has to be part of one in order to perform better, in order to give you the right result. And like you said, sustainability is a long-term thing. It's not a short-term. So even the solutions that we bring into, it takes time to show results. It needs persistence. It needs commitment. It needs continuation. So it's not a one-shot thing that you take, apply this. It's not a pill that you take it for 3 days and you get the results. But it's a long-term effect, and continuation is the key. You have to keep on doing it to get the benefits. So sustainability is not a milestone. It's a journey.
Very true. And when you were talking about how the different streams, they need to work together instead of competing against each other, I was just thinking what a true reflection of biophilia works you are, because that's what it is about, like bringing more of nature into work, meaning that we don't exist as individual human beings. We exist in connection with each other, in connection with the relationships create, and in connection with the bigger impact we are creating. And having said that, let me ask you this. how do you see the impact being created by Biophilia Works?
So Biophilia Works is fairly new in the region when it comes to business solutions, and we are among the first ones who is bringing nature-based management solutions. I wouldn't say we're the only one, but we are among the first ones. This is one of a kind of the solutions that we do based on research and science. Most of the implementation of biophilia that is there is in terms of architecture, design, urban planning. But the implementation of this concept in management solutions, in business operations is not there yet. And we are introducing it in the region. So this is fairly new, and when you bring something new, you have your own challenges. The good sign is people, when we open it up to the audience, to the group, they like the idea, and there is a willingness to accept it. So it's going to take some time to build up the interest to start implementation. Because the willingness is there, the interest is there, because this is new. There is some sort of unknowns when it comes to implementation from the organization or the client perspective, I'm saying. And we're very happy that we have research which backs our solutions, and whatever we are doing is backed by numbers. And it's been proven by the scientific research that applying these solutions will bring you 6% gain in performance, in business. It increases 15% of your creativity of employees and yourself as an individual. Our solutions help in increasing focus, team focus, and improves wellness by 50%. So these numbers are there to support what we are doing, and we have created our own framework based on science and research, which is called the Lily, and that really turns the wheel around, and it really creates newness and freshness in everyday work practices.
I see. I love it that you mentioned numbers in different contexts, but also I liked how you brought in the topic of numbers, because one of the things that surrounds sustainability is the cost. Isn't it going to cost me more? And usually the answer is yes. But also the second part of this answer is more often than not is that it's going to help your business to be sustainable. Like you will be able to running the show for a couple of years to come, or you will be able to use products that are long lasting, and also they have a very huge environmental impact, a good impact, like you are reducing your carbon footprint. So initially though, it comes with a cost, and this is what is directly linked to what we just mentioned before. Am I focusing on short-term goals or long-term goals? Am I choosing quick fixes, or I'm happy to invest and see long-term results? And there was another point that I really liked when you mentioned is sustaining those efforts, because we know it takes time. We know that it doesn't happen overnight. What is helping you and Farzana to sustain your efforts, to keep the education going, to keep going out, raising awareness, educating people, bring more of those reminders that we are one with nature and we connect with nature more deeply than we think we do? What keeps you going? I think if I really want to break this question down into a very simple phrase, I would say, what keeps you going?
Yeah, so me and Farzana is my sister and co-founder. She's my eldest sister, and I have two elder sisters. So the best thing is we are passionate about science and knowledge. So we love everything related to science. We love everything about learning new thing every day and applying it and spreading it across. So that's one passion that we have, which really keeps us moving. So no matter the obstacles, we just keep on moving, and we believe that our solutions and what we are doing is the right thing that we're doing. And really it's our vision that we want to create happiness around, and we just want to spread the knowledge and create happy community, happy businesses. And the way we see is nurturing community and businesses for future, which are based on true human values. And that human values is a sustainable way of living. Sustainability is the way of living, basically. So that really keeps us moving. And also, when you were talking about, the cost part, the beauty is our solutions are cost effective. So, it really brings to the beauty of how we can, create simple solutions from ourselves and from within ourselves. So this is where the difference and the uniqueness comes from.
Amazing. I truly wish that Biophilia Works reaches many organizations, many companies, bringing in that connection, that valuable connection between us and nature, and how we are in control of our own life and how we are creating it, and how by choosing Biophilia Works, they are also choosing something long-lasting, something sustainable, and something that is profitable in the long term as well. Thank you so much for joining, Samina.
Thank you very much, Beatrix. It was a pleasure to be part of this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to me and Samina. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation and you are reflecting on some of the insights that we shared. If you have ideas, suggestions, questions for us, do let us know, and we definitely make sure to have a look at it, consider them for our next season.